We are going to talk about two people here. We are going to talk about Dr. Njoroge Mungai and Dr. Johnston Muthiora. Especially when all evidence show that Dr. Muthiora was assassinated, and the assassination, all fingers point to Dr. Njoroge Mungai. So, first of all, Dr. Njoroge Mungai, full names were Dr. Magana Njoroge Mungai. Being Dr. Magana Njoroge Mungai, you remember I had talked of Jomo's son as Peter Magana Kenyatta. I have been told, and that is where I benefit from your feedback. I know that younger Kenyans are gaining a lot from these videos, but I am also gaining more because those of my age and above, in as much as they are thanking me, they are also adding by trying to show where I scored 90 something. They top it up to 100, and for that I'm grateful. So it is said that Dr. Magana Njoroge Mungai is related to Jomo Kenyatta. They were cousins. If you see, Dr. Njoroge Mungai's father was called Kungu Muigai. And you'll also see that Beth Mugo's brother, Captain Kungu Muigai. And you see, among Kikuyus, names don't disappear. In fact, among Kikuyus, when you meet two or so, and you have similar names, then you do a checkup and you find that in a good number of cases, you are related. I remember when Beth Mugo was the MP for Dagoretti, there was a function about Nyakenywa women who had bought land in Njoro, and they started the organization during the time when Dr. Njoroge Mungai was the MP. So the land was ready, and there was a function in Riruta where those ladies were now being officially handed over the title deed of that land. And during her time, Beth Mugo said that she is related to Njoroge Mungai, and said that other Mungais are Mungais, but Njoroge Mungai, the origin of the name is Muigai. It is only that he himself changed it to Mungai. And when you see his father is called Kungu Muigai, then we have no cause of doubting the gracious lady. So as I said, Njoroge Mungai was born 1926, and in the 50s, when Jomo Kenyatta was jailed, the British did not want him to come out alive, and they did not want to kill him one-on-one. He had enemies among the prisoners. There are documented cases where they wanted to kill him, including one by Karaoke Chotara, and I would ask you to watch the video on Karaoke Chotara. There's a time when the prisoners wanted to kill Jomo Kenyatta. You know, he was elderly, so he used not to go to the farm, and he had been given the duty of being the cook. And I can tell you, Jomo Kenyatta was one of the worst cooks. So they wanted to kill him because they were telling him, before you kill us with your food, we will kill you. But then the Kaburu also wanted to kill Jomo Kenyatta. They knew that Jomo Kenyatta liked whiskey. And with the poor prison food, they used to supply him a lot of food. I mean, not a lot of food, a lot of whiskey. So that the whiskey, with the poor food, it can spoil his kidney. This information reached Dr. Njoroge Mungai around 1957. So he was given permission to have access to Jomo, and that issue was settled. I don't know how it was settled, whether he advised Kenyatta to stop whiskey or whether he looked for a way, such as a good food, to counter the whiskey. In one way or another, Dr. Njoroge Mungai, being a doctor, used his medical profession to stop that. Then in the 1960 delegation to Lancaster, he was among those people. In 1963, he was elected MP for Dagoretti. And the greatest thing he ever did, there is this Riruta Health Center, which is opposite CDF office. It is land that belonged to him. How he got that land, don't ask me. But he also, even if he didn't get it in the proper way, he would have chosen to turn that land into a business facility or even build his own private hospital. But he freely handed it over to the city council, which turned into a very good hospital. I think it is one of the best level 3 hospitals we have in the country. In 1963, first of all, he started over as Minister for Health. When he was the Minister for Health, that is what I've said. Then later he became the Minister for Defense. This was during the Shifter War. He actively participated as the Minister for Defense in the Shifter War, but later on he was made the Minister for Foreign Affairs. He was made a Minister for Foreign Affairs in 1969 up to 1974. So he, I'm forgetting the name of this diplomat. There is a Luo diplomat who was very good and who led into negotiating for the United Nations Environment Program to come to Kenya. But even though this Luo diplomat is the one who really struggled, the political arm was that the Minister for Foreign Affairs was Dr. Njoroge Mungai. So we thank them both. And the fact that I've forgotten the Luo's name is just, I can't remember everything. But the two did great things, and since this video is about Njoroge Mungai, he was the Minister for Foreign Affairs at that time. He was a very arrogant person, a very opinionated person, and he is one person who openly showed people that he was going to be the next president. If you're traveling on your way between Nairobi and Naivasha, there is a place near Limuru it's called Magana area. That is where he used to stay, and he had a very good home there. He was so arrogant that he even made a pavilion there, where he said that the way people visited Jomo Kenyatta in Gatundu, people would be visiting him. He had already declared himself to be the next president or future president. He belonged to this team of Kihika Kimani's Change the Constitution. So definitely, he did not have friends with Moi, Njonjo, and Kibaki. They were not for him. So he used to go to the parliament, buy the finest drinks to politicians, to the MPs, and the best way to praise him within the parliament, if you wanted some money or you wanted to visit the canteen there, you would call him Mr. Prime Minister. That one, of course, you'll drink what you want to drink, you'll eat what you want to eat, and you'll have some money for you to go home. So what happened was that 1974 election, he faced an onslaught from Moi, from Jonjo, and from the Daily Nation Media Group, through its editor-in-chief, George Githy. Nation would carry articles attacking him. Moi and Jonjo went and picked Dr. Johnson Muthiora and campaigned for him. Dr. Johnson Muthiora was little known countrywide. He was little known within Dagoretti constituency. But they picked him, dusted him, financed him, and he campaigned and defeated Dr. Njoroge Mungai. I have to tell you that there are two, Dr. Njoroge Mungai and Dr. Johnson Muthiora. Dr. Muthiora's degree is a PhD, and Dr. Njoroge Mungai doctorate is udaktari, the medical doctor. So when the elections were held, Dr. Muthiora was elected as the MP for the area. And then a few weeks after being elected, something funny happened, something very unique, and even he himself cast doubt and even told those who were near him. You remember, before the elections, Dr. Njoroge Mungai was the Minister for Foreign Affairs. So Dr. Muthiora was summoned by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and was told that he was going for a private, fully paid trip to India. The ministry had been headed by Njoroge Mungai. Then the ministry called him and told him that he had been called for a private visit to India, which was fully paid. And the visit was never, his wife was not invited. It was only himself, nobody else, who was invited for that. So strange as it is, he went to Embakasi Airport. Embakasi Airport, you know, initially, the airport for private airport was Wilson. Wilson was in Dagoretti Corner before then moving to Nairobi West. That was the private airport. And the government airport, the first one was in Isili. Then they went to Embakasi, handed over the Isili to the military. And then later, Embakasi, they went to Jomo Kenyatta International Airport nearby and handed over the old Embakasi to the military. So, those days it was Embakasi Airport, number 33. This, when he went to India. Upon reaching India, one day he just felt funny pain in the shoulder. And when he complained, you see, prominent people, when you go abroad, if you are a prominent person, the staff at the Kenyan embassy have got to have an interest in you. Wherever you move, wherever what, they even, if possible, and especially if you are a senior person, they send the protocol person to be shadowing you because you are a senior person in Kenya. So this fellow was shadowing him, and when he said that he was feeling unwell, when he felt he was feeling unwell, this person went and called a doctor. This doctor came na miti shamba, sio Ukambani ama Kilifi ama Bagamoyo, Tanzania. This is India. He came with an old newspaper with some shrubs and whatever. And Dr. Johnson Muthiora asked him whether he was very sure he was a doctor. He said yes. But because Dr. Muthiora was sick and the pain was much, he allowed that person under protest to deal with him. This fellow akachanganya hiyo herbs zake akaboil. He made an injection out of it and he injected Dr. Muthiora. Remember, Dr. Muthiora initially got a sharp pain on his shoulders. Whether it is the left or the right shoulders, we don't know. But whichever shoulder it was, he felt pain and told those who were around that he's feeling pain. Then a muganga, basically that was a muganga, was brought. And when he was brought, he started attending to him. But Muthiora insisted that another doctor be brought. And then when the other doctor came, when he looked at this other person, he was shocked because the fellow didn't look like a doctor. He didn't do whatever. But he started stabilizing Dr. Muthiora. He started stabilizing, and then Dr. Muthiora stabilized a bit. But whatever connotation that he had taken made his kidneys collapse. Then he started vomiting blood. When he started vomiting blood, he was flown back to Kenya and he died in Nairobi hospital a few weeks after being elected. When the by-elections were called, Dr. Njoroge Mungai wanted to contest, and he was advised by everybody not to contest because it would obviously be seen as he's responsible for Dr. Muthiora's death. So he did not contest, but you see, it was so early in the parliamentary system that the 12 nominated MPs had not been nominated. So the president nominated Dr. Jemima Geshaga, his sister, to be a nominated MP. And later on, she resigned. You hear she was called Dr. Jemima Geshaga, sister to, and the grandmother to Jomo Geshaga. I used to hear my relatives on the Kikuyu side commenting that Jomo Kenyatta's family were, can we call it incest? They were marrying among themselves because Jemima Geshaga, being a sister to Njoroge Mungai, was a cousin to Kenyatta. And then again, her daughter got married into the Kenyatta family, and their firstborn was Jomo Geshaga, who was the personal assistant to President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. So Dr. Jemima Geshaga was nominated as an MP, and later on, she resigned as an MP, and Dr. Njoroge Mungai was elected as an MP. Dr. Johnson Muthiora died on 27th March 1975, a few days after J.M. Kariuki had been assassinated. That is where msemo ulikuja that the hyenas have killed one of their own, meaning the Kikuyus have killed one of their own. The Kikuyus killed J.M. Kariuki, and in the same month the Kikuyus killed Dr. Johnson Muthiora. On that, I would want to say that even though in Kenya cases of political assassinations are reducing to almost zero, but you'll have to notice that if they want to politically assassinate you, they can go as far as they went to India. And even if you are killed here or killed anywhere, you will find that even if we call FBI or FBI or CIA, or even the Scotland Yard, we still find ourselves that these people come and the report they give is worse than the one the DCI can give. Why do they give bad reports? Let me start with the Scotland Yard. Scotland Yard wrote a very good report. Mr. Troon was very professional, but he faced a lot of political hardships for him to investigate. And then when we come to FBI were investigating the death of Father Kaiser. And obviously they found that, and they reasoned that after all, he was a citizen of their country, and if they came out with the truth, their relationship with Kenya may be affected, so they gave up one of their own. There are these things of diplomatic exchange, just like Ochuka thought he was safe in Tanzania, but then Nyerere wanted to arrest some people there are some people who had taken refuge in Kenya. Nyerere wanted them to be taken to Dar es Salaam, and Moi wanted Ochuka back in Kenya. So who are you, the small person? And that is what we have for today. Thank you.